Yeah,
So
Rakim definitely gave you the D-boy vibe, the rich homie vibe, you know, with the Benz and with the Dookie ropes on and the three-finger rings and stuff.
We not in Studio 54 with them, nigga. You get me? Nigga, we on the block turning our shit into crack rock. You feel me? So that's our representation of the streets to us. Now, the element of the story they were pushing on the message, you get me? That was what we took. You know, niggas tired, fed up. You know, you ain't teaching me shit in school and all that, but we wasn't on, you know, we was on the block with our shit. So it was more BDP or you know, KRS and Rakim and Scott LaRock with the dope game and how niggas serving on the block. And we got we're not up in the motherfucking Studio 54 with no 3-piece suit on. You know what I'm saying? Serving one of them motherfucking rich motherfucking white doctors or some shit and everybody having fun on the floor. Nah, man. It was crazy. So our scenario to how the rappers introduced themselves is how we gravitated to the motherfuckers. Like I said, we bang more motherfucking Rakim, even though, like you said, Grandmaster Flash had the message for us, but we took that into a different element, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? And one of the things, Lynch, because I'm going in this timeline kind of that leads up to Season of the Sickness 2, Kevlar, right? So needless to say, you blowing up now. You know, you got it going on. You doing a lot of shows and everything. What happened after that, bro? Did it start getting funny over there at Black Market?
I just seen him. He started buying cars and shit, and I was trying to be cool. You know what I mean? I was like, pay my rent, give me some money for the month. Let's try to blow this record up. You know what I mean? Then when I seen him start buying cars and Pathfinders and shit, that's when I had to go, you know, go up in the office and we had to have that talk. And then I just got a whole bunch of promises and we're gonna get you this and we're gonna get you this day and it just went bad after that. After a couple months after that first talk, it just started going bad.
So is that why we started seeing kind of like the almost put together releases, you know, the stuff that was kind of like, it may be an unfinished song that you have and a random rapper on there and, you know, somebody, like you said, you didn't even know these dudes.
Nah, he you know, came up on some of my music and start putting it out, stuff that I wasn't gonna use, you know what I mean, and put other dudes on it and threw it out there.
Did you guys ever go through any legal situations? Like, did you ever get any of that remedy? Like, when he put those projects out, he had to compensate you for them, right?
Well, we did have to go to court. We went to court after a couple things happened, you know, revenge type shit. You know how they play in the neighborhood and shit. A couple things happened. Then a friend of mine said, man, just do it the legal way. So I took him to court, gave me my first $30,000. I think I was like 25. Gave me my first $30,000. I thought I was rich. And then at the time, it was when I was signed with Priority, so Priority started helping me get my money. Instead of them sending the check to him, they would send me my part and then send him his. After the
and that's what usually happens when you have a successful artist going through a subsidiary.
Yeah.
They want to kind of keep the relationship going, but they don't want, last thing they want you to do, Lynch, is be like, fuck this, I ain't recording, I can't even pay my rent. Why am I
I wanted to be straight with Priority. Like fuck Black Market, but said wasn't trying to let that happen. But they was trying to fight for it. You know what I mean?
That's usually how it happens too, because us as Black executives sometimes, man, and I'm not gonna say all the time it's because they trying to necessarily be shiesty. Sometimes they just don't know no better, man.
But Sid is a dude who came from the East Coast. Smart dude, I will say that. But he knew what he was gonna do when he came to the West Coast. He said, I'm gonna give me some California rapper niggas, got me in X-rated. You know what I mean? and make some money off these niggas. Nigga made some millions off me.
And you know what? And because the thing is, you came out during the hate. You initially came out in the heyday of gangster rap, like you said. You know, you had MC Eiht, you had all this dope stuff that was just really dropping. The climate was just real dope, right? And you were hella unique because I know they would call your style horrorcore. I listen to Gangster Nip too, but Gangster Nip do is horrorcore. What you do is some whole other shit. It's like some I think the term rip gut is appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, they put me in the horrorcore category, and I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I didn't really want to be known for horrorcore. I didn't really know much about it. You know what I mean? But
you know, they always go throw a label on something though, bro. So you doing this and you going through all that, man. What are you doing during this time? Is that how you? When did you link up with Strange?
It was I put an album out called Lynch by Inch on my own. It was the first album I put out myself, and I was just touring a lot. And I ran into a Tech on one of his tours, and he said, "Man, Travis, the other owner of Strange Music, want to holler at you." And they brought me up in the office, and I turned them down actually the first time, and then a couple years later, I didn't know what I was doing. I had kind of got back active in the streets with a little money, helping the little homies and stuff. But I wasn't really doing no music. And Strange, came at me again, gave me some money, and I said, fuck it. And I signed and did a 3-album 360 deal with them. I shouldn't have did that, but I figured since I hadn't had an album in a while, I could do that. And so
It
that's
definitely, you know, the one thing about messing with Strange, man, is they do a lot of touring and they're going to introduce you to their fan base. It's like if you do anything with them, you go get a whole bunch of them juggalos, you get a whole bunch of different white folks, you go broaden your fan base, you go broaden your horizons.
Hey, bro, my crowd went from black to white when I joined them.
Just that quick, huh?
Yeah, like it's funny because when I do my own tours, it's black. But when I do tours with them, it's always white. Always.
That's
I still tour with them every once in a while.
Is that because of where they're based at? And that's because the area they're based around? And they just cater to a lot of that audience?
Yeah.
You know what I think it is with Strange Eiht? I think Tech has just built him a following because you got to think about it. Tech is kind of like Lynch in the sense that they both real unique. They both ones of one. You ain't gonna hear nobody that rap like them. They got their own kind of presence. So I think that attracts kind of like a different demographic almost. Because I know it's black people that listen to Tech, but it just happens to be a whole bunch of white folks. And I know over in Hawaii, he huge, man. They love him over there. They love him over there. And Lynch was at the beginning, early on in his career, he was messing with the Juggalos a whole lot. So I think some of that Juggalo fan base migrated over there too. But shout out to them dudes because they doing their thing. But so you got this whole litigation going on with Black Market. When did you officially dissolve your relationship with the label?
Shit, to me, when I left after season, but technically it was around 98. Because we went into court in the middle of 98 and settled later that year. So that's when I started Sick Made Music and put out some records through this distributor out of Tennessee.
So what was their problem? They just didn't want to pay?
They didn't even try to pay. It was like it was a trying to punk situation, trying to punk me. That's what I felt.
So he put out the records and he no advances, no anything. He just like, nigga, we're gonna go to the studio, you're gonna record, I'm gonna go get the deal and fuck it. Like, nigga, I ain't giving y'all.
His major excuses, he was having problems getting the money from the distributor. That was his excuse. Until
And
I
you know
got
what?
And they had a deal with Priority. So
yeah,
there's the first lie right there, because you don't have to
yeah,
get anything from the
Ex-
distributor. Priority gonna
exactly,
get their money. You get me?
Mhm.
exactly.
You getting paid because Priority is getting that money from those one stops and the distributors who are motherfucking buying those records. So
Oh,
for him to turn
Priority is
around,
getting the check for sure.
Yeah, that
so
was the first lie.
for him to turn around and go, well, I'm having problems. There's your first lie, nigga, because your
Yeah.
deal was with Priority, and Priority ain't got no problem cutting no motherfucking check.
Oh, they
Now, you
If
know
they
definitely
what I
owe
did.
you,
could see? I could see if we talking about 24 deep and he going through City Hall or whatever, and it is hell trying to collect the reserves from them cats sometimes, right? But once you get the Priority, which should have happened, I'm pretty sure Priority advanced him some money based on the sales that you have for 24 deep.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Based on what you did for 24 deep, that's how he got into the Priority building, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
right?
and I'm pretty sure they gave him a check, which should have
Yeah, they
happened as
gave
soon as
him
the
that.
deal
You
with
damn right.
Priority,
They gave him an advance,
contract with an
and
advance attached to it and
especially if he
everything
had,
else.
especially if he had two artists. If he had two artists and both of them came out on black market Priority, they gave him money for both of them motherfucking acts. So
Yeah,
shit,
so
the
yeah.
nigga could have got a check for anywhere between 200,000 and 500 grand because he got two
And
groups.
that's
They
in
was
the
gi-
90s.
Nigga, they was giving up budgets back then in the 90s.
Yep.
They
So
was
was.
giving up minimum. The minimum was 250 grand.
Oh yeah, you was gonna get paid because you know what we got when glasses went over to Sony, dog. And that was in the 2000s. That was kind of like when everything, it wasn't going bad, but it wasn't like it was back then. Glasses, goddamn, is like $600,000, dog. Like in
Nigga,
total.
in 92, 93, when I found out that I was getting fucked out of publishing money and advances and all of that, they was collecting 275,000 from Epic. And I had no idea what the budgets was. Luckily, I found out a nigga was trying to rob me, and I found out. So I basically just went and said, I'm not gonna do any more records unless y'all kick this nigga out. Fuck this shit.
That's
I'm
real
still
talk.
struggling and shit, and a nigga living in fucking like, and they always want to front on you too, right? They always want to go buy us a gang of cars and a gang of shit, and you sitting
Yeah.
up going like, well, goddamn, where's my shit at? Nigga,
Yeah.
I'm on the road. I'm writing raps. I'm out here. Nigga, I had to sign 1,000 autographs yesterday at a motherfucking in-store. You feel me? But then when I get off the tour bus or the plane, I'm pulling back up in my motherfucking sister's driveway. Like, what the fuck is, like, something is wrong. And then every time we go sit down at a meeting, you pulling up in a new whip.
Oh man.
You should at the very least, man, thinking about it, Lynch, you should have probably been presented with another formal contract at that time with an advance and an album budget, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were the biggest thing to come out of Sacramento at that time. You guys could have, just by doing proper business, said scene could have been still getting money today.
He sure could have. I was down. I told him, nigga, we could ride this out. Just pay a nigga.
That's all he could have did. Give you an advance, man, and even if it's an advance, like, you know what, Link, here you go, he goes 75 for an advance, and your recording budget is this, and just keep doing good business so you can keep putting out albums. Because that's the thing, it's not a lick.
And at the time too, bruh, X had did that murder. So his album was semi getting banned, and that was the only artist Black Market had at the time. And his album was lightweight getting banned everywhere because he murdered somebody's mom.